Shana Tova.
Shana Tova, everyone. This is the prayer we open on Shacharit for Rosh Hashanah. This prayer, interestingly, the Chazan recite that from his place in the shul, and then once he recite Hamelech, he goes the king. He goes into the bima. This year, we're going to recite Hamelech from our place at home. There's a famous phrase, "My house is my castle." With the pandemic, we discovered that our house has many other functions.
It's true. My house is my office, my house is my school or my kindergarten, my house is my cafe, my house is my gym, and this year, my house is even my shul.
We know that the idea of synagogue, Bet Knesset, was a substitute for the temple in Jerusalem. And the prayers are a substitute for all the korbanot, for all the sacrifices.
So if the temple and the sacrifices became the shul and the minyanim, this year it becomes our home and our individual prayers.
When we come to shul every year, we can rely on the Chazan, on the Rabbi, on the Gabaim, on the entire community to do the prayers with us or for us.
And yet this year Hashem's thrown us into a situation where we have to rely on ourselves.
If we don't do it ourselves, there's nobody else who will do it for us. And perhaps that's the reason that we are thrust upon this. And we have to make our home, our shul, and our prayers so meaningful.
This is not the first time in history where Jews have had to deal with challenges like the ones we're dealing with and even worse. And we wanted to share with you a story from Rabbi Silver and the famous Nazi hunter Simon Wiesenthal. So after the liberation of the Mauthausen concentration camp, Rabbi Silver went from America there to try and bring some strength to the survivors. And he gathered a special group. He wanted to have a minyan after years of them not being able to have minyanim. And Simon Wiesenthal said to him, "I'm not joining your minyan, and I'll tell you why." One of the things that I saw when I was in the concentration camp was that there was a religious Jew who had a siddur, a prayer book, that he had smuggled into the camp. And at first I was in awe of his conviction as a religious Jew that he'd risked his life to smuggle in this siddur. But then what I saw really disturbed me. He would rent out the siddur to other prisoners for rations for part of their food. He said, "If that's what a religious Jew does, I don't really want to be a part of your minyan, and I don't want to be a part of the prayer book." And the rabbi gently said to him, "You're missing the point. It's not that this one man who didn't behave in the way a religious man should is the example here.
Look at all the other Jews who were willing to give the little portion of food, the little portion that will give them the little life for the day, and rent it for a siddur, for a moment with Hashem that they can daven wholeheartedly."
Now for us this year, thank God, we have opportunities to pray at home. We have the comfort of our home as a place to pray. And we have siddurim, machzorim, online resources, things that we can use to connect.
And even if we can't hear the shofar properly in the synagogue, we can still think about the shofar, and we can connect to the blows of the shofar even without hearing the shofar itself.
It's so important for us to remember that even when we're on our own or our family's on our own, we're part of a much bigger picture of our community, of the Jews around the world, and across time as well. So Shana Tova, everyone.
Shana Tova umetuka. May Hashem inscribe and seal you all and your families to a good, healthy year of happiness and joy. And please God,
Good health.
good health in our times speedily.
Amen.
Amen, amen.